So yesterday I showed you how to find simple everyday stories that makes your brand magnetic. Today I'm going to show you how to take just one of those stories and turn it into 7 days of content without hiring a team, without spending hours editing, and without burning out, because that's one of the things everybody that I talk to that know they ought to be, making videos, putting themselves out there, putting what they do out there to help more people is, I can't be spending hours editing videos. I can't hire an editor. When so many people start, number one reason why they stop is they are burnt out, because they are spending more hours doing videos than the hours they are spending doing their work. By the way, we are not trying to become content creators. We are trying to run our business. You see, most people think content creation means coming up with new ideas, every day, and that's why most people quit. But smart founders, smart business owners that we work with, they reuse ideas with intention. Okay, they extract one story into multiple different angles, and that's how you stay consistent and visible even when you are busy running the business. Remember, the goal is to run the business, not to become a content creator. So let's start where we left off. My mom's story. She runs a small feed mill in Nigeria, and one day we recorded a simple 1-minute video about how our feed helps farmers grow healthier chickens. It's a very simple video, and that one video turned into multiple orders from new places out of where she, out of her state. Now, here's what most people will do. They will post that video once, smile at the result, and stop. Here's what we did instead. We turned that one story into 7 different pieces of content, and I'm going to show you how. Because every story contains 3 different things: a lesson, what actually happened; a principle, why it matters; and a proof, what it changed. By now you all know that story, and I'm still using that story again. You can build a full week of content by just slicing these 3 ingredients. So here's the framework. I call it the 7-angle method. Take one story and repurpose it into 7 pieces of content, then clearly explain one by one. Day 1, you tell the story. Share the story simply, no editing, just what happened. Like my mom was saying, we made this feed and we sent it to Lagos and people loved it. Something as simple as that. Just keep it human. There is no need for you to bring in, try to script it and make it look unnatural. Day 2, share the lesson. Turn the story into a principle. Example, if you don't tell people what you do, they will assume you don't exist. That's a post in itself. So for instance, my mom, the following day, we shared the lesson that this means if you are a farmer, you want to raise chicken at the back of your house, this feed is for you. Wherever you are, we can send it to you. That's another post for day 2. Day 3 is teach the process. Show how it happened. You can show the screenshot of somebody making an order and how they made the order, to how you packed the order, to how you sent the order. That's another post from just one thing happening in your business. Day 4, example of the video we made was that when the feed got to where it was going, that photo, that evidence is also a content. Say they ordered our feed in Lagos, in Osun State. This is how it looks. It is showing people who lives outside of the states where she and her business is domiciled, is that you can order this feed anywhere and we will deliver it to you. Day 4 is you want to reflect on the emotion. Tell what it means to you. Example, for instance, for day 5, I can show my mom being happy or almost crying. That, can you imagine, after doing this business for 14 months, something as simple as making video has turned my business around. Okay, so day 6, you want to ask a question, because you also want to involve your customers in your journey. So if my mom could make a video that asks our audience, do you want to start raising chicken? What do you need help with? That alone is a customer research exercise that can help you understand what your customers are looking for. And this kind of things drives engagement. When your customers ask this question, you can then answer their question with another, you show that you are answering a particular customer's question. Your customers who are not even asking you question will see that you are engaging with customers and they trust you more. Day 7, summarize summarize and call to action. So make a short video or post. Example will be, our feed is now being bought in Lagos. Our chicks are now being bought in Lagos. Our chicks are now being bought in another states, you know. So in just one story, you have 7 days of content. So you have stories, you have lessons, you have process, you have results, you have emotion, you have engagement, and you have a recap. Now here is how you can make this automatic. Document, don't invent. Okay, every day as you go through your day, start thinking of your interaction with customers. Find a way, you know, the behind the scenes moment. Find a way that if I want to tell somebody about my interaction with my customer, what will I do? How will I do it? Have a notepad and put that inside. Okay. Number 2 is batch it. So as you are documenting it, for my mom, I ask her to have a physical note to be writing things down. So for instance, a customer calls and say, my chicks are not eating well. She prescribed medication for this chicken, and I asked her all of that conversation that happened. That is a body of content that you can make. So for instance, you can document that this is what you do when your chicks are not eating well. You need to add this to their meal. This is what you do to prevent your chicks from having this problem. That is another content on its own. You can see this thing is actually not hard. As all of these things are happening for her, I ask her to have a note that she's writing the things that are happening every day. The questions the customers are asking, the questions they're asking on the phone, the questions they're asking in real life. We batch it. As soon as we batch it, we are able to turn just one idea, one content. An idea of one content was somebody who called that their chicks is not eating, and you know, she prescribed what they can use, and after prescribing 2 days, 3 days later, she called back to say they are doing extremely well. You see, everything that just happened can be turned into 7 different content. Everything that I just explained now in the way I explained earlier, you can take the video back a little bit to extract the principle. Okay, don't post and move on. Okay, don't just post and move on. And you don't have to chase perfection. The market reward consistency, not cleverness. Not that you are sounding. The market is not going to reward somebody who is using very, very large grammar, vocabulary. You could be as simple, as straightforward as possible. If you do this every day for a week, every week in a month, that's more than 365 stories from your real journey. Enough to build unstoppable trust, enough to build an empire. And because that's exactly what we are trying to build here. So to recap, start with one real story. Number 2, break those stories into 7 different angles, the way I've explained to you. Number 3, turn it into a weekly and a daily rhythm. You everything that is happening, you have a note that you are jotting it down, and once it's probably Friday or Thursday is the day you create content, you just make videos about all of those things. That's all. And that's how you stay visible without losing your sanity. Nobody is asking you to be making content every day. No, but you keep record of all of the things, you document the things that are happening every single day. I am sharing this because we typically work with businesses doing between 1 to 10 million pounds in the United Kingdom. My mom's one video turned into 1 week of visibility. Yours can too. That is if you just start. Tomorrow in day 4, I'm going to be showing you how to speak naturally in the front of camera, even if you hate seeing yourself in video. Subscribe and leave a comment if you are starting your 7-angle challenge. Remember, your story is light. Don't hide it.